I don't know who needs to hear this, but an alpha male isn't a guy who invites 14 women onto a podcast to call them. He's just a guy who has a wife and kids.
Isn't it crazy how even in every species women are useless?
Today we're talking about Fresh and Fit, who are at the forefront of this incredibly lame movement of like almost 40-year-old men getting 18-year-old girls onto podcasts, getting them drunk, and then goading them into saying stupid things so they can yell at them, make them cry, and then go, look, I told you women were irrational.
Don't really give a f***.
No, exactly. How about this? You can get the f*** off the show. Yeah. How about that? The disrespectful f***. Matter of fact, real quick, any of you guys want to get up and leave, you can feel free to leave.
Go ahead. Imagine being 34 years old and your job is yelling at 22-year-old women who only come onto your show to promote their businesses to your loser audience who invariably sign up to their services despite your message preaching that it's wrong to do so. You're 34 years old, you're unmarried, you got no kids, and your job is a podcast where you yell at chicks.
Because at the end of the day, you guys are all sluts anyway.
You're not an alpha male, you are a loser, brother.
Bro, chat, real talk, this is what you guys are dealing with these fucking girls. They'll be fucking thinking that they are on the same level as you.
And you know what's scary?
These stupid fucking bitches.
They mean it.
These podcasts are all the same. The male host is a dude who has a bad relationship with his mother and dislikes women as a result of that. He'll invite the type of woman that most reminds him of his mother, a person he has a bad relationship with, and then he will have an argument with them, making him dislike that type of woman that he relentlessly keeps inviting onto the show, and then he will tell his viewers, which are mostly, 15 to 22-year-old boys, he will tell them that's what most women are like. No, brother, that's the type of person you're inviting on the show to have an argument with. The only person demonstrating a consistent behavior pattern is you.
Fuck these bitches, man. Now y'all know why I cover geopolitics shit. I fucking hate talking to these stupid, retarded
Yeah, bro, I'm sure everyone's really interested in your opinion on geopolitics. What do you think's going on with the Israel-Palestine situation? I don't know. Let's ask a guy who invites women on his podcast to call us what he thinks. You're a idiot, brother.
I fucking hate talking to these stupid, retarded
However, while we're on the subject of politics, why don't we have a look at what this balding loser thinks?
Who started feminism? All the isms? Communism, feminism, Marxism, the dreidel spinners.
The Fresh and Fit show, like all great contributions to culture, launched as a podcast during 2020. And it's a show that claims to be about teaching men how to improve themselves. But the more you look into it, the more you realize that it's just for men who have bad relationships with women and are looking for reasons to hate them even more than they already do. Fresh and Fit describe their show as personal development and helping men improve. But if you have a look at their YouTube channel, you can see the only content that gets any views is videos that trash women, and any video that is about self-improvement, finance, personal development. No one watches these because that's not what their audience is here for. Their audience is here for them making women cry. Myron telling a caller how to pay off his debt, 10,000 views. 20-year-old given hard advice about a relationship, 36,000 views. Caller reveals how his uncle got him 192,000 in debt, a finance video, 5,000 views. Ignorant chick learned why she's clueless about relationships, 34,000 views. The only type of content these people make that anyone pays any attention to is just them trashing women.
Tired of dudes trying to appease and supplicate to women and trying to impress girls? Fuck that shit. Men are the prize, not the women, because I know for a fact when a man deals with a woman, he's got to inherently bring far more value than she does. All she's got to do is be pretty and available.
The show is hosted by two guys who call themselves Fresh and Fit. The guy who calls himself Fit also calls himself Myron Gaines, but his real name is Amrou Foodie. He claims to be very successful with women, but he's a 34-year-old balding, single, unmarried, childless man who has no successful relationships to reference at all, but apparently can tell you how to find a wife.
If your dad cheated on your mom, how would you feel?
I'd applaud him. I'd be like, fuck yeah, you got your money up, man.
How do you think mom would feel?
You know what? She wouldn't leave. She's a real one. She would be like, damn, okay.
Obviously, they've got some incredible mummy issues, and we'll see that as this video continues.
If it was continuous?
She wouldn't leave.
That's a really telling response, isn't it? How do you think your mother would feel about getting cheated on? And the guy's like, he wouldn't leave. Yeah, but like, that's not a feeling, And that really comes down to why all of these dudes that claim to be relationship experts that are running Redpill Podcasts actually know nothing about cultivating and sustaining a successful relationship, because all of their arguments come down to, Where else is this bitch gonna go? Reminds you of abusive language, doesn't it? All this is about getting a subservient woman that's not allowed to have any opinions and essentially building a life where she's not allowed to leave or have thoughts or opinions. And if she does have them, she has to shove them down because I'll punch a wall if you ask me to do the dishes.
Do you think she'd be happy with the dynamics of that relationship, though?
She knows how it is.
Every piece of advice in regards to women comes down to that. Here is what women have to do for men. But what should men do for women? Nothing. They just have to deal with our behavior. There's no way to improve on how you treat a woman. Everything is about how she treats you, and you can behave as erratically and violently as you want. And if she cries, you get to call her emotional, even though you're the one who punched a hole in the wall. That being said, there are some women out there that would be perfect for Myron Gaines. For example, Bonnie Blue.
So if my mum wasn't pleasing him, I feel, what do you expect?
Right.
Like, he's paying the bills, he's working hard. If you're not doing the bare minimum, he's going to be going elsewhere. Like, and I've got friends that I can recommend.
There you go, Myron. Your dream woman. Bonnie Blue, get in line, buddy. The other host is a guy named Fresh, a man who I assume was attracted to the Red Pill movement when he looked in the mirror and realized his face resembled a tire tread. Walter and Myron started this show in 2020, and ever since then, their relationship has been fracturing as Myron becomes more and more extreme in his ideology, while Walter tries to rein him in and fails.
Fucking stupid ass bitch come in here and annoy the fuck out of me, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
If you watch any clip, you'll start to notice that these two, despite being the hosts of the show, never actually talk to or look at each other.
Yo, it's a first?
Happy birthday, Fred.
Fuck up out of here, man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Ridiculous.
Got no ass. That shit's crazy.
Man.
Look at his face when he realizes Myron is just ignoring what he's saying. Like, this dude is really trying to be sexist to fit in with the fellas, but it's not working anymore. They've lost all respect for him, and so has the audience. Because this self-proclaimed alpha male, this expert in relationships, this guy who knows how to find a good wife, what has he done recently? Knocked up a prostitute. Honestly, man, I think this is the real Fresh. Look how happy he is with his girlfriend. This is like kind of cute, man. What did you leave this relationship for? To impress your red pill incel mates? How embarrassing to find a good relationship with a woman and then to abandon her, encourage her to get an abortion and cut her out of your life and intimidate her into silence because you're scared that you might look uncool to your male buddies. What a beta little bitch. When it comes down to it, that's very exemplary of all of these red pill dudes, because these people are not alpha males. They're just people that hate women and are very confident and charismatic, and they rope in all these young boys that are lacking positive male role models in their lives, father figures, and they infect them with this poisonous attitude that then leads these young men to have bad relationships with women themselves, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because these men that they listen to tell them that women are bad and emotional and evil and teach them how to attract women that are damaged themselves or that don't have emotional regulation, and then these men get into bad relationships, treat them poorly, the women react accordingly, and that the cycle continues. Damaged men, damaged women, damaged men, damaged women, and no one finds happiness or a successful relationship because these men don't know how to offer that or even do it for themselves.
Let me ask you a question. Who's likely to work harder? An employee that has a job that is guaranteed in their tenure, they can't be fired? Or someone whose position is unsure?
Probably the person whose position is unsure.
Wouldn't it be fair to say by that same analogy that a girlfriend is probably going to be work harder than a wife would?
I love clips that are attempting to own women that just kind of reveal pathology in the man trying to dunk on like some 20-year-old when they're 34 and unmarried. Having a relationship is not holding the threat of abandoning a woman over her to keep her in line. Like, the guy's going, wouldn't a girlfriend be nicer to me if she knew that at any moment I would leave her and I told her that a lot? No, dude, that's just being mean.
Isn't that what promoting a girlfriend to a wife is?
I mean, not necessarily.
No?
These men are in an echo chamber of their own creation where they are just gathering the biggest amount of hurt and damaged men into their corner to sit and agree with each other about how women are the problem and they don't really have anything to improve. And when it does come to self-improvement, the only things that are encouraged is getting muscles and getting money. There is more to a complete life than those two things. Those two things are important, but that's not what makes anyone happy. And this whole red pill philosophy of treating women as opposition that need to be managed and kept in line because they are so different that they're almost the enemy that you have to manage to keep on side without cheating on you while you can cheat on them and treat them terribly. And if they react, they're emotional and crazy. It's just not going to result in any sort of productive or positive relationship for men. And that results in these men hurting women that in turn hurt them. And it just makes it harder for these people to realize that they're wrong because they become repulsive to women. Because any woman that detects this type of red pill incel type stuff coming out of a man's mouth will instantly get the ick and reject these men. So they constantly get rejected. Then they blame women instead of looking internally and understanding that, oh shit, I'm the problem. In fact, my favorite quote on this very issue comes from Jordan Peterson.
I would say to young men who are irritated at women is, if you're irritated at women, you know, as a class of creature, there's something wrong with you because they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but what you have to understand is that what do you expect from women? If you got pregnant because you had sex, you'd be pretty damn choosy too. So, you know, clue in a bit. And then, well, don't they find you attractive? Well, maybe you're not. Like, have you paid attention to how you dress? Do you have a plan? Are you as educated as you could be? You know, are you a liar? Are you a rabid pornography user? If you were better, you'd be more successful with women.
If you were better, you would be more successful with women, with your life, with relationships, with other men. But that's not what is really preached here. What is preached here is that women are the enemy, someone you should be suspicious of. And the evidence they use for that is getting sex workers that are like 19 years old from Miami onto a podcast, getting them drunk, taking their phones, and then dunking on them in arguments. Brother, you're 34 years old. You're a fucking loser. But not only are Fresh and Fit using alcohol to make women look stupid, many of these women that they're getting drunk are underage.
My name is Zoe. I'm 18 years old.
This woman says she's 18. Here's Myron Gaines feeding her alcohol. Now, you might be thinking, oh, surely this is just an honest mistake, using alcohol to ply women into getting what you want from them. No, here is Myron himself saying that's the best way to get what you want from a woman.
Any date idea is going to work, guys. It's just that the drinking one tends to have the best ROI because you're meeting her at night and it like loosens her.
Hot tip, fellas. If you're listening to dating advice from a man and he uses terms like ROI to describe the effort you put in versus the sex you get out, this guy does not know anything about sustaining good relationships with women. There are dozens of other clips of these men in their mid-30s feeding alcohol to fresh 18-year-old girls, something that is illegal in Miami, to get them onto a podcast to look stupid and then call them emotional, which is fairly ironic because out of everyone on the show, Myron is the one that always gets incredibly emotional.
A lot of you motherfuckers jellyfish. No spine. And that's the reason why a lot of you are fat, triple chin, neck bearded, pieces of shit, dorks with no money, and no one fucking respects you.
Yeah, women are nuts, huh?
Because you fuckers don't stand for nothing. If I stand with Fresh, I die with Fresh. It is what it is. F you motherfuckers. I got my real estate, I got my money, I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere. I can't be bought.
That was real. That was real talk.
I also love how his co-host just constantly gets ignored. Why is this guy here? He just responds to Myron's outbursts and gets ignored for it. What does this guy add to the show other than, yeah, chicks suck?
From the heart. W. Myron. You broke the glass.
After dozens of incredibly emotional outbursts like this, Myron has further embarrassed himself by inviting women onto his show and getting so upset at them that he kicks them out and then threatens them with violence.
It's like, you guys think I'm kidding around when I say this.
When we first started this podcast and girls will act crazy and we told them to get out, they'd be acting all wild, like, oh, I'm not leaving, blah, blah, blah. When you have a chick here, bro, they start complying.
Icy's ready to go.
Yeah, you can get punched. You know what I mean?
Hey, ladies, if this happens, this can happen.
Fellas, here's how you have a good relationship with a woman. If she keeps talking and it's annoying you, you threaten to punch her in the face. Like what the fuck is this show? This is only for losers that hate their mothers. This is the lamest shit ever. If you listen to this, you will never be an alpha male. This is not the first time there's been threats of violence or actual violence on the Fresh and Fit show. This happens frequently.
You stupid nigger. This Florida. Get the fuck up out of here, bitch. This is Florida.
Some giant, massive man standing over a woman like that and threatening her is pathetic behavior. And you notice that he keeps yelling, this is Florida, this is Florida. What he's trying to say here is that I legally have the right to shoot you if you don't leave. That's a really good example, you know, to show to other men is if a woman disagrees with you on the podcast you've invited her on, you just threaten her with violence and tell her you're going to kill her. What an alpha male. That's really cool, bro. Are you married or are you 34 balding and you got no kids?
Stand your fucking ground. This is Florida. You ain't getting reimbursed. Shit, get the out of here. Yeah, bitch. That's the whole brokey. Fuck you. Fuck. That's fine. I'm not a get fat. You look like shit. Your hair's a wig.
You look like shit. Your hair's a wig. Hey, man, you could use a wig. Why don't you ask her where she got her wig from? Because I can see your skull from the back. After several incidences like this, obviously these guys are getting banned from every single platform that likes having advertisers on it. Most recently, YouTube. They've been demoted down to Rumble now.
And we got a very important announcement for you guys.
It won't be the same, bro.
Yeah. The channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. But for now,
we don't even know why.
We don't know the specific reason.
That's so funny. Oh, we've got no idea why we've been banned from YouTube. Apparently they don't like it when you threaten to shoot women. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't want us on our platform when our entire show is about inviting 18-year-olds on the show, illegally getting them drunk, and then when they start acting belligerent, I say I'm going to kill you with a gun. Why wouldn't they want ads on my show? Both of these guys just objectively loser dorks, and it doesn't matter how much money they've gained from other lonely men. Doesn't matter how many properties are in their portfolio. They will never have a fulfilling relationship with a woman as long as they act and believe this type of shit. And this becomes incredibly obvious when they leave their echo chamber and talk to an actual man who has a good relationship with a woman.
If there's men that watch this show, if they've learned anything, it's probably how to respect and how to have a long-term healthy relationship with a woman that you can call your wife and have a family with.
How do you get a wife, Ethan? Because my thing is like you're talking about the finish line. What about the race?
Yeah.
You understand? Like you have to get
Are
to
either of you married?
Where you can even identify a female that's worthy of marriage, of having a family with, etc. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's not that simple anymore.
That's a fair question. You're talking about being married, Ethan, but what about the race? Okay, well, let's have a look at the race these guys are running. If this was the Olympics, you would have a bunch of sprinters lined up at the start line, and Fresh and Fit would be in scuba diving gear getting ready to swim. They don't know how to fucking run a race either. They're saying that they know how to run the race, but they've got no idea what they're doing.
But no, the ability to find a woman, you clearly don't have that ability. So you use the sugar daddy websites as dating sites.
Yes, so we did a whole episode on
and then
this.
you complain about women being shallow.
I never complained about women being shallow.
You say it's hard to find a good woman because they're motivated by material things and stuff, and yet you're seeking women, specifically a certain type of woman, obviously would be on a sugar daddy website. So it seems like you are confirming your biases by even going there to find women.
What? Okay. Ethan nails it. That's exactly right. That's the biggest problem with all of these Red Pill podcasts, especially shows like Fresh and Fit, where they intentionally go out and connect with, meet up with, and form relationships with women that they know won't lead to successful marriages, successful long-term relationships. They intentionally seek out these types of volatile women that are only looking for men with money. And then they go, oh, all women are like this. No, they're not. You're in Miami intentionally getting 18-year-old OnlyFans stars drunk to have arguments with them on a podcast to say that all women are like this. They're not. That's not what all women are like. That's what the women that you are intentionally seeking are like, because you are too scared to admit that maybe there are good women out there and they would be repulsed by men like you.
Get the fuck out of here. How about that, bitch? We don't need you. Get the fuck up out of here. You need to hit the gym. Yeah, that doesn't help your case. That doesn't help your case. This doesn't help your case at all.
I'm telling you, don't call me a bitch.
I'm telling you, get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Men that invite this level of chaos into their life on the daily and be like, that guy knows how to live a productive life. Like, dude, there are prostitutes punching on in the vicinity of this man every single day, and you're looking at him as a role model. This guy is an example of what no one should be. Like, inviting this level of chaos into your life, inciting it, making it worse, and then going, yeah, all women are like this. It's like the dude is sending himself insane and trying to take his audience with him.
I fucking hate talking to these stupid, retarded.
Then why do you invite them on your show, you stupid fucking retarded baldy? And now that Myron has gotten himself banned from every single platform that matters, he's really falling into the end of the red pill incel pipeline, which is, of course, blaming the Jews for your own personal failures.
Everything, every issue, every ailment in society, you could tie it back to fucking feminism. Every single one. Feminism. Who pushed feminism? The fucking Jews.
So in this video, we've covered a few years of Fresh and Fit history. Right now, they are undeniably at their lowest point. They've been banned from every social media platform that matters, right? And now Myron Gaines, in his incredibly self-destructive mindset, is going to bring them down even further by getting into alt-right talking points and race science, blaming the Jews, getting incredibly racist. And his co-host is so clearly not on board with where the show is going, but he's too much of a beta soy boy male pussy to say anything about it. So while Myron Gaines goes off on an insane rant, his mate is sitting there like a little baby doing his best "I disagree with this" facial expression.
Every single one. Feminism.
I regret to inform you that if your mate goes on to anti-Semitic rants like this and your only response is, unfortunately, that makes you a Nazi as well, brother.
See, these are the conversations they don't want you to hear. You can always tie it back to fucking feminism. And then you figure out who started feminism? The dreidel spinners. So, anyway, we'll continue on.
I just want to say, I love all my Jew friends. I love Jews. I love everybody. And I don't hate nobody.
That is the weakest response to someone you're on a show with, just going on an incredibly racist anti-Semitic rant. Like, that's not, disavowing it enough, because at the end of the day, this dude is going to show up again and again and again to support his mate who's saying all this type of stuff. This is an example of a coward who knows his friend has incredibly dangerous beliefs and exhibits incredibly dangerous behavior, but he's content to sit there and say the bare minimum and to not pull that guy's behavior in and to tolerate it because he's making money out of it, because it would be easier not to have that difficult conversation, because it would be very difficult to walk away from the incredibly dangerous cash cow that these two have created. So this guy is as bad as his mate, no matter how many times he says, actually, I think Jews are all right. Like, if you're a follow-up speaker to Hitler at the rally, it doesn't matter what you say after him, you're still speaking at the Hitler rally, so you are his mate.
Meine Geburtstag ist am 16. Januar.
I would just like to say that I actually disagree with a lot of what the previous guy said. Anyway. What's interesting about the red pill space is that now that it's been around for a few years, the whole space has matured. A lot of these shows, especially the really big ones, have been around for a few years. You can actually see if this ideology results in a better life for men by looking at how the host lives have progressed or devolved in everyone's case. You can see how much harm this ideology does to men, including the hosts that preach it, by just looking at where they were when they started and where they are now. When they started, Fresh and Fit could have been quite a positive thing for men that were going through isolation and struggles during COVID. But all of the men that followed their advice, including the hosts themselves today, are doing so much worse than when they started.
These fucking are getting out of control. They're getting out of fucking control.
Yeah, this is why you need a wife in your life, brother. Because if the KKK hood arrived in the mail, you would have at least one person to go, honey, I think that's a bad idea.
I make fun of the zipper heads all the time myself. But I'll be fucking damned if a nigga gonna sit here, make a bunch of jokes, but if that goes ahead and makes a fucking nigga joke, he's gonna be called all kinds of shit.
And that really is the image of a man who follows the red pill ideology to a T, isn't it? A dude sitting all alone with no friends around in an apartment and a dwindling audience just screaming at a webcam by themselves. Not me, I'm screaming at a camera and I've got my mate on the couch over there. Say hello so they know I'm not lying.
Hitler was right about y'all because the reality is this, you fucking you guys come into a country, you push your pornography, you push your fucking central banking, you push your degeneracy, you push the LGBT community, you push all this fucking bullshit into a society, you destroy it from within, and then you guys go ahead, and then you band together, you practice nepotism, you keep each other at the highest levels of echelons of government and everything else, you protect your fucking selves because you silence free speech, you silence anything that criticizes you, and then you get rid of them, and then you go and use stupid terms, fake terms, like anti-Semitism, when half you motherfuckers aren't even really Semites. I'm the Semite.
Does that seem like a man who has his life together? A man who's happy? A man who will be able to attract a woman that loves him and raise a child that has a balanced nature and who will live a good life? No. This guy is an unhinged, incredibly angry loser. And his friend who sits across the table from him while he spews all of this hate is a little bitch who's a coward, who's scared to voice his actual opinion, which is, I think you've lost your mind, brother. And that's why these people are not alpha males. They're just bitter, lonely men, angry at the world, and are looking for any reason, whether it's women or the Jews or the system or the Matrix, to blame, when really the reason why they're unhappy is because of their own thoughts and actions. And so I'm going to end this video on a serious note because I have been thinking a lot about the male loneliness epidemic, which is real, and it does drive men to seek out role models that are just leading them down a path that harms them even further and turns them even more lonely and sad. And I think the answer to that is to kind of give an example of what a good man is. And so this is what I think that is. It is a man's duty to protect women and children. This often means from other men. Part of this duty is acknowledging the epidemic of male violence in this country and the world and calling out evil behavior when we see it, even and especially when we see it in our friends. A good man is not one who does not cause harm. That is a neutral man. A good man is a verb. Actions, choices, decisions. A good man does good, speaks out when in the presence of harmful behavior and opinions, and protects those with less power. It is our responsibility to be good men. A lot more women would be here today if there were more good men.